Every journey of change has that one moment when fear hits the hardest. And here's the funny thing. It's not at the beginning, at the start. You usually feel excited, hopeful, even a little nervous, but in a good way. Everything feels fresh and full of possibility. But real fear waits. It comes later, right after something inside you truly shifts. Maybe after a meditation that opens your heart. Maybe after the moment you finally feel connected to your future. Or when you believe you've figured out the secret to life. And then out of nowhere, fear knocks on the door. Your body reacts instantly. Your mind races, trying to plan for every what if. Your nervous system tightens. Your heart beats faster. Your breath turns shallow. You question everything. Am I going the wrong way? Am I slipping backwards? Was everything I felt before just in my head? Most people take this the wrong way. They think fear means they've failed, or that they're off track. But that's not true. What you're really feeling is friction. The pull between the old self that's fading away and the new self that's just beginning to emerge. Think about the first time you learned to ride a bike. As long as someone held the seat, you felt safe, maybe even confident. But the second they let go, panic. The handlebars shook, your legs wobbled, your heart raced. It was terrifying. Many kids cry or want to quit right there. But in that shaky, scary moment, your body is actually learning how to balance in a brand new way. The fear isn't failure. It's proof you're leveling up. Inner transformation works the same way. The moment you touch deep peace in meditation or glimpse your future self, fear often shows up right after. Not because you're wrong, but because you're so close to real change. The problem is, nobody teaches us to read this signal. So most people turn back. Like the child who believes they can't ride a bike just because they're scared of falling. Many people assume their fear means they're not ready, or that the universe is warning them. So they retreat to the old, familiar place. But if you see it differently, the whole picture changes. Fear isn't there to stop you. It's there to show you you're at the edge of something new. Your body is going through a shock it needs to adapt to a new frequency. And just like with every skill in life, the discomfort at the beginning isn't the enemy. It's the evidence of growth. You've felt this before. After your first workout at the gym, your muscles ached. It hurt. But that pain wasn't damage, it was proof of growth. Or when you move into a new home. The first nights often feel strange, even uncomfortable. But with time, that strangeness turns into comfort, safety, and belonging. The same thing happens with the soul. Right after a breakthrough in awareness, your body and mind push back. The nervous system treats the new as dangerous, even when it's better for you. Survival instinct screams, stop, go back. The old way is safer, and here's the choice. Do you listen to the old voice, or do you take another gentle step forward, knowing fear is just a sign of transformation? The truth is, many people fall into the trap. They believe alignment with the universe means always feeling calm, light, and peaceful. They think that once they match the frequency of their dream life, everything will be easy. But that's not how it works. The bigger the future you're stepping into, the stronger the reaction. Just like lifting heavier weights makes your muscles shake more. Shaking isn't failure. It's progress. Fear is the same. It's not a red light saying, turn back. It's a green light saying, keep going. You're on the right path. The only difference is how you see it. And that's the first lesson of transformation. Fear is not failure. Fear is friction. Fear is the sign that the old self is falling away, and the quantum self is about to rise. But if fear is not failure, then what exactly is it? To answer that, we need to look deeper at the way our biology and consciousness collide. The human body has one mission: survival. It doesn't care if you're happy, fulfilled, or chasing your dreams. Its only priority is to keep you alive. And it does so by relying on the past. Every habit, memory, and experience becomes data. The logic is simple. What you did yesterday kept you alive, so let's repeat it today. This explains why the pull of the comfort zone is so strong, even when it no longer serves growth. But creating a new reality demands something different. It asks you to step into the unknown, to choose a way of being that your body has no record of. At this point, biology collides with consciousness. Your mind may reach for change, but your body resists. Think of stretching in yoga. When you push a muscle past its usual range, it tightens, trembles, even sends signals of discomfort. Your body is essentially saying, "This feels unsafe. Don't go further." Yet the trembling isn't danger, it's just unfamiliarity. With steady breath and patience, the muscles adapt, and what once felt impossible becomes natural. The subconscious works the same way. When you try to expand adopting a new habit, belief, or lifestyle, it pushes back with anxiety or doubt. This is not proof that you're wrong. It's proof that you're stretching beyond old limits. Resistance is not weakness, it's evidence of expansion. Unfortunately, many people misread these signals. They treat resistance as a warning to stop. They mistake fear for a red flag. In truth, fear is simply biology ringing an alarm, not because there's danger, but because you've stepped into something new. Consider starting a new job at your old workplace. You knew the processes, the culture, and the expectations. Everything ran on autopilot. At a new job, even with better pay and opportunities, you feel uneasy. Questions swirl. Will I fit in? Will I succeed? What if I fail? That discomfort makes you long for the familiar, even if the familiar kept you stuck. The unease doesn't mean the new job is wrong. It means your body hasn't yet caught up with your conscious choice for change. Transformation happens in that gap between consciousness pulling forward and biology pulling back. Most people don't understand this dynamic. They believe spiritual alignment means constant calm, that being in tune with the universe erases fear. But the truth is opposite. The bigger the life you're stepping into, the louder your survival system reacts. This is the core tension of growth biology anchors you to what's familiar, while consciousness urges you toward possibility. You feel it in every breath and heartbeat. But once you recognize this pattern, everything shifts. Fear stops being the enemy. Instead, it becomes confirmation that you're moving in the right direction. It's like stretching again. If you stop at the first sign of tension, you'll stay within your old limits. But if you breathe, persist, and trust the process, your body adapts. Over time, the new stretch becomes natural. The same applies to spiritual life. Fear, doubt, and anxiety are the tremors of expansion. If you stay present, regulate your emotions, and resist the urge to retreat, you'll find yourself in a clearer and stronger energetic state. So when fear shows up after a breakthrough, don't treat it as a sign to retreat. See it as a reminder you're entering new territory. Your role is not to fight or flee, but to breathe, adapt, and teach your body that it is safe. Over time, the body learns. What was once unknown becomes familiar. What once triggered alarms begins to feel like home. And in that space, Biology and consciousness no longer fight each other, they merge, supporting you in becoming the person you're meant to be. And this is where quantum science gives us even more clarity, showing why regulation is the bridge that allows biology and consciousness to finally work together. To truly understand the moment of transformation, we need to look at it through the lens of quantum science. Quantum physicist Amit Goswami calls the awakening part of you the quantum self. This isn't your everyday ego, tied to time, memory, or personal history. The quantum self is an infinite field of energy, always aligned with your highest truth. This means that even if you haven't fully lived your dream future, part of you is already there. Like tuning a radio, when you find the right frequency, the signal becomes clear. In quantum physics, the observer shapes reality. Reality is not fixed, it's a field of possibilities. When you observe with clarity, you select one possibility to become real. But when your attention is clouded by fear or control, the signal is scrambled and you can't connect to the future you desire. This is why emotional regulation is essential. Joe Dispenza explains, your body cannot tell the difference between an actual event and a vivid thought. If you constantly think in fear, your body shifts into survival heart racing, stress hormones flooding, the nervous system on alert. But if you think and feel in alignment with your future, your body begins to adjust toward that possibility. Of course, this shift doesn't happen instantly. There's always a gap between the mind choosing something new and the body clinging to its old chemistry. That gap is the sacred discomfort, where you feel both pulled forward and pulled back. Imagine deciding to live healthier. Your mind sees a vibrant, energetic version of you. But your body, used to sugar or late nights, demands the old comfort. Cravings, fatigue, irritability arise. Many people mistake this resistance as weakness. But it's not failure, it's simply the biology of reprogramming. Here is where emotional regulation matters. When you notice the discomfort, but stay present, slowing your breath, placing a hand on your heart, reminding yourself, we're safe, we're just expanding, the nervous system calms. Slowly, the body learns the new state is not danger, but growth. Think of another example, the first time you said, I love you. Your heart raced, palms sweated, voice shook. The body acted as if you were under threat. But your higher self knew this vulnerability was the doorway to deeper connection. Once you moved through the fear, your body realized the new territory was safe. This is the power of regulation. It doesn't erase fear, it helps you sit with it until your biology adapts. It turns chaos into restructuring. It allows you to stay long enough for your nervous system to learn a new signal. And you don't have to be perfect. You don't need to hold a high vibration all the time. What matters is awareness, noticing when panic rises, when the breath is shallow, when the body contracts, and then gently guiding yourself back to presence. That coherence is what creates a clear signal for the universe to respond to. Quantum science, then, is not an abstract idea. It shows up in every breath, in every choice to observe calmly instead of with fear. Each time you regulate, you send a message, I trust. I've chosen this new path. That message bridges the gap between consciousness reaching forward and biology clinging to the past. So the next time fear follows a breakthrough, don't see it as a stop sign. See it as a reminder you are entering new territory. Your task isn't to fight or retreat, it's to regulate, to breathe, to trust, to guide your body into safety. And when you do, biology and consciousness begin to merge. And you're not just healing, you're shaping reality itself. Still, Knowing this in theory is one thing. Living it in daily practice is another. The real question is, how do we actually stay in the new vibration when fear keeps knocking? One of the biggest misconceptions about alignment is that once you're in tune with the universe, life will suddenly feel effortless. Many believe fear will vanish and every day will be peaceful. But real alignment is not about eliminating fear. It's about learning to walk with fear, seeing it clearly without letting it take control. Right after a spiritual breakthrough, you'll often notice your mind and body sending mixed signals. The mind spins old stories. This is too hard. You're going to fail. You should go back. Meanwhile, the body joins and your heart races. Your breath shortens, your stomach knots, your hands grow cold. Everything in you seems to fight the unknown and drag you back into the familiar. This is the crossroads. Many people mistake this unease as proof they've lost their way. They retreat into the old zone, even if it feels suffocating. But those who grow choose differently. They remain in the new vibration, even while the body protests. It's like learning to swim. The first time you step into the water, panic floods your system. Every instinct urges you to climb back onto solid ground. But to actually swim, you must stay in the water long enough for your body to realize it won't drown. Once the body learns, the water becomes natural. The same is true of alignment. You must stay with the new frequency long enough for your biology to adapt. So the question becomes, how do you stay? The answer isn't to force yourself into instant joy or high vibration. It's to regulate instead of giving up. When fear rises, pause, breathe. Observe it without identifying with it. Place your hand on your heart and say, "We're safe. We're just expanding." This isn't a magic formula. It's a way of teaching your nervous system that the red alert isn't necessary. Over time, your body learns that this new space is also safe. Remember, your quantum self has already made the leap. It already exists in the future you're reaching for. Your task is simply to remain coherent long enough to meet it. That's why fear should not be seen as the enemy. It is feedback. It signals that an old version of you feels unsettled because a new version is taking its place. Fear is evidence of change, not a sign of failure. Think back to your first presentation. Before speaking, your heart pounded, your palms sweated, your body shook. You feared forgetting everything or being judged. But once you stayed, breathed, and spoke, your rhythm emerged, and the trembling subsided. The lesson is simple. Stay long enough, and the body adjusts. Fear in your spiritual journey is like a wave. If you run, the wave pushes you back to shore. If you let go and float, you discover the wave carries you forward. The very thing you feared becomes the energy that moves you further. Here's a simple practice for those moments. Breathe deeply to signal safety to the nervous system. Observe to avoid getting swept away by the fear. Accept so the body can learn this is expansion, not danger. When practiced, this changes everything. Staying no longer means feeling no fear. Staying means feeling fear but refusing to run. That is what creates coherence, and coherence makes your energetic signal stable. A stable signal no longer sends the universe mixed messages. Instead, life begins to rearrange people, events, and opportunities line up to reflect your new vibration. So alignment isn't a fixed state of eternal peace. It's a living dance between your consciousness and your body, between the present and the future. Some days you will feel radiant, other days unsettled. That doesn't mean you failed. The key isn't to stay high, it's to keep returning. Each time you return to your breath, to your heart, to the decision to keep moving, that is the quantum leap. It rarely looks dramatic. Most of the time, it happens quietly in your persistence, in your ability to say, I'm not giving up, even though fear is still here. And that is the true mark of alignment. Which brings us to the final reminder, perhaps the most important lesson of all. Fear will always appear. But how you relate to it decides whether you shrink or expand. By now, you've likely realized something essential. Fear has never been the enemy. It's simply feedback from your body and subconscious as you enter a new vibrational field. It doesn't rise to block you, but to ask, are you sure you're safe here? Your body reacts with racing heartbeats, shaky hands, and a tight stomach. Your subconscious adds old voices. You're not enough. You'll fail. Go back. These signals are often misread as warnings that you're on the wrong path. In truth, they're echoes of your old self-survival programs that once kept you safe, but now keep you confined. Safety, as your body defines it, may be a controlling relationship, a job you dislike but cling to, or a smaller version of yourself afraid of rejection. When you begin to leave these behind, your body and subconscious resist, not because they hate you, but because they believe survival lies in the familiar. But you're no longer in that old space. You've opened a new door. Your work now is not to retreat, but to gently guide your body and subconscious forward. Imagine leading a child across a shaky rope bridge. The child cries, trembles, begs to go back. Yet you, knowing the other side is safer, don't abandon or force them. You hold their hand and say, it's okay. We'll cross together. That is exactly how you need to treat yourself. Fear, doubt, anxiety. These are your inner child. You don't silence or punish them. You hold them, walk with them, and whisper, it's okay. We're just expanding. When you do this, fear stops being a wall. It becomes information. It tells you you're truly shifting, stepping beyond old limits. Instead of reading fear as failure, you begin to see it as evidence of progress. Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Fear is simply your unconscious surfacing to be seen. If you run, it continues to rule from the shadows. If you face it, you turn fate into choice. Every time you breathe instead of panic, observe instead of react, you reclaim pieces of yourself once abandoned, the part afraid of rejection, the part ashamed, the part that shrank. Slowly, you become whole again. Wholeness creates coherence. You stop sending the universe mixed signals, wanting to move forward while fearing the outcome. Instead, your energy says clearly, I'm ready. I've chosen. The universe doesn't demand perfection. It asks for clarity. Imagine standing at the threshold of a new reality. Fear rises, as it always does. But instead of collapsing, you place a hand on your heart. Breathe and say, I see you. You can stay. But we're still moving forward. In that moment, you're not only changing, you're leading yourself. And the quantum field responds instantly to that leadership. Alignment, then, isn't a lofty state free of fear. It's a practice of returning to your breath, your decision, your trust. Some days you'll feel steady, other days wobbly. The key isn't staying high all the time, it's coming back, again and again. Each return is a leap. Not the dramatic kind with fireworks, but the quiet leap of persistence, choosing to breathe instead of contract, to keep going instead of quitting. Over time, you'll notice the shift. You're no longer the person who panics at the first sign of fear. You've become someone who walks with fear, transforming it into feedback, even a companion. That is true freedom, not eliminating fear, but dancing with it. Not fleeing the darkness, but carrying your light into it. Not becoming someone else, but returning fully to yourself. And when you stop abandoning yourself, your magnetic field changes. You become coherent, magnetic. You no longer chase your dreams, they begin to find you. The universe responds by aligning people, opportunities, and events with your stable signal. So here's the reminder: you don't need to be fearless. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to keep going, even with fear present, each time you do. The universe whispers, "This one can hold the frequency. Let's give them more." That is the reward of the journey, not only achieving your desires, but becoming someone who can stay, trust, and shine even as fear walks beside you.